American Environmental Review is a national platform where nature and technology meet, where protecting and preserving our precious resources takes center stage, where the spotlight seeks out and shines on the environmental innovators. This editorial series, featured on public television, takes an inside look at the outdoors, explores how the decisions we make today impact each of our tomorrows. The Biodegradable Products Institute was handpicked as a featured guest because of its commitment to the environment in which we live. Americans generate more than 230 million tons of trash each year. Of that, about a third is recycled or composted. Of the remaining waste, the U.S. EPA says roughly 23% is comprised of food scraps and yard trimmings, which also have good potential for reuse.
Composting is Mother Nature's way of recycling. It's a natural process, and there's a lot of waste in this country that can be actually composted that is not being composted at this time. Food scraps, yard trimmings, other types of organic material that we simply throw away at the curb.
Some homeowners create compost piles in their yards with trimmings and other organic waste. While do-it-yourself composting is still relatively uncommon, it is a growing trend. And the solid waste industry is now incorporating composting into neighborhood recycling programs. Analysts say organic recovery rates could be improved by making collection easier and more efficient. Currently, those who wish to participate often find limited options for bagging debris.
Plastics are strong, lightweight, and it is the choice of consumers. As everybody knows it, we use it a lot. But it is this performance property of the plastics which causes problem when it goes into an infrastructure like composting, because they're not biodegradable. And the reason they're not biodegradable is that these are man-made materials, and the microorganisms have been around for thousands of years, and so they're not capable of recognizing it and therefore utilizing it as a food source for them, and therefore they stay in the compost and cause irreversible impact on the ecosystem around that composting operation.
For years, the scientific community has been studying these man-made substances in an effort to create a more environmentally sensitive material. Today, biodegradable and compostable plastic bags, plates, and cups have been developed that will break down over time.
We have built triggers into the molecule so that they stay when in use, but when you dispose them in an infrastructure like composting, they will slowly break down, and then the microorganisms are now capable of recognizing these broken down fragments and utilize it as a food source.
While many consumers are picking up on the environmental benefits, experts say that all of these plastics are not created equally. An identifying emblem has been created to help distinguish the differences.
The technology has arisen over the past decade for these plastics to be compostable. And the problem is that these plastics look exactly like the old plastics, and the consuming public would look at them and go, I don't know which one's which. So the logo becomes critical in terms of the public being able to identify this one goes in the composting bin and this one goes in the trash can or the recycling bin.
Developers say by using biodegradable plastics, more communities may institute broader composting programs, which will in turn impact America's landfills.
By providing consumers with an alternative to traditional plastics, we're hoping it will improve the ability to compost material and the amount that we will be composting in the future.
It became very clear that if biodegradable plastics has to be in the marketplace and make sense, we need to have standards and a certification program which would be able to identify these products. So the Biodegradable Products Institute worked with the standards organization like ASTM to develop the standards which now form the basis for certifying products as truly biodegradable. What this has now done is eliminate confusion It eliminates people claiming biodegradability when it is not biodegradable. It allows the composters not to go through an elaborate process to decide which is compostable or not, because all they have to see is look at the logo and they know that there is a scientific basis for this certification.
People will recognize that that's a biodegradable product that they're talking about there. It's just like any recycling logo, it catches people's eyes. The important thing is to get people to recognize the logo. Once they see the logo, then I think they'll make their own decision as to whether they want to use it or not. And I think in the long term, people are going to turn to that logo and they're going to use that product.
BPI will be promoting products made from biodegradable plastics with the logo on it. We see first plastic bags emerging, then we see a number of other items in the second round where we have plates and cups and other food service disposables where you can help facilitate composting of food waste.
Reduce, reuse, recycle. That's the mantra used by environmentalists around the nation. Today's producers and manufacturers are embracing that message, transforming raw materials into things people can use to better help our environment rather than harm it. John F. Kennedy once said, "The supreme reality of our time is the vulnerability of our planet." It is a timeless statement. World population, consumption, and technology push forward, often more quickly than natural resources can support, or with consequences more costly than we can afford. The need for a unified effort to nurture, renew, and protect the planet has never been more compelling. Therefore, once again, American Environmental Review extends a special thanks to the companies and organizations that have risen to meet today's environmental challenges. This has been a presentation of WJMK.